Secure the pins with the washers and spring cotter pins delivered with the machine. Subsequently, attach the slings of the assembly cylinder on the upper pins and lift the boom until the lower boom connection lugs are aligned. Mount the lower pins and secure them. Depending on the boom configuration and, if required, mount the rope guide and the midpoint suspension according to the operating manual. Then, connect the pendant straps. These are stored on the jib and boom sections during transportation in order to save space and speed up the assembly process. Subsequently, unload and assemble the jib. When lifting the jib foot, please use suitable edge protection. For easier handling when mounting the luffing jib on the main boom, first connect the jib foot with the boom head. Now, connect the various jib sections with the jib head using pins, and then connect the pendant straps. The assembly work using the cylinder is now completed, and the rigging can be removed and the cylinder tied to the boom foot. Then, assemble the rear counterweight. Position the basic machine in front of the counterweight. The rear view camera helps you to have a better overview. The rear counterweight cylinder is again controlled via the remote control delivered with the machine. Switch off the machine and connect the remote control to the socket in the upper carriage. Restart the machine and select the cylinder function in order to control the cylinders via the control unit. The cylinder should already be in the lowest position. Connect the chains to the rear counterweight using pins. When lifting the counterweight, ensure it is in a horizontal position. Secure the rear counterweight with pins and actuate the mechanical locking device. Then lower the counterweight assembly cylinders again completely. Before removing the remote control, switch off the machine. Store the remote control in the designated tray. Now, position the basic machine in front of the main boom and connect the boom foot with the first boom section using pins. Disconnect the pendant straps of the A-frame from the boom foot and connect them to the pendant straps of the main boom. Then connect the backstay straps of the jib with the boom foot. Now, remove the electric plug in the boom foot and pull the electric cable to the boom head. First, make sure that the machine is switched off. Connect and secure the electric cable on the boom head and in the boom foot. Remove the bypass plug on the boom head and connect the electric cable between boom head and jib foot. With the help of the rope reeving, winch the hoist rope of drum 1 is led to the boom head and attached to the sling of the luffing A-frame 2 using the rope socket. The rope reeving winch hoisting function is controlled from the right control panel X11 in the cabin. The cylinder function must be pre-selected for this purpose. For unwinding the reeving rope, the freewheeling function can be activated via the winch clutch. Remove all rope protections from the luffing jib foot and A-frames. Now, pull the rope of the jib luffing winch to the jib foot with the help of the rope reeving winch and connect it to the blue nylon rope, which is reeved between the luffing masts, A-frame 2 and 3. Subsequently, connect the rope of the rope reeving winch with the other side of the blue nylon rope and pull it through until the jib luffing winch is completely reeved and can be attached to the dead end lug. Then the rope protection can be mounted on the jib foot. Before erecting the luffing A-frames, please make sure that the hydraulic accumulator has enough pressure for the hydraulic backstops of the luffing jib. The set pressure, depending on the outside temperature, is indicated on a label. Then, erect the A-frames with the help of the Drum 1 hoist rope and secure the hydraulic jib backstops using pins. Now, the A-frames can be further erected and simultaneously the A-frames 2 and 3 distance from each other. Thereby, it is important to make sure that the hydraulic jib backstop cylinders are not retracted all the way. Secure the backstay straps of the luffing jib. Then detach the Drum 1 hoist rope and break the connection between the main rope and the sling of A-frame 2. Now, bring A-frames 2 and 3 together. It is again important to make sure that the hydraulic jib backstop cylinders are not retracted all the way. Then, disconnect the pendant straps, which are pinned on A-frame 3 from their parking position. Distance A-frame 2 and 3 from each other to such an extent that the pendant straps of the A-frame can be connected to the jib foot using slings and shackles. Now, the main boom with the jib foot can be lifted, and the basic machine can travel to the jib, which has already been prepared. Connect the jib foot with the jib using pins. Then the jib pendant straps can be connected to the pendant straps on A-frame 3. In accordance with the operating manual, mount the midpoint suspension if required. Pull the electric cable to the jib head. Connect and secure the plug. Mount the anemometer and, if required, the FAA warning light on the main boom and luffing jib head and connect the cable. Remove the rope protection and pull the main rope to the jib head with the help of the rope reeving winch. Reeve the main rope via the boom head. Once again, check the boom configuration set in the electronic control system and make sure that it matches the actually mounted boom configuration. The system allows work with all equipment configurations without changing the software. The Liebherr Load Moment Limiter allows online load chart calculation. Make sure that the boom is free of loose parts. Make sure once again that all anti-2 block and limit switches work properly. And all spring cotter pins are mounted. The boom can now be erected. As long as the boom is beyond the normal working radius, make sure that the jib head remains on the ground and the pendant straps are taut when the boom is lifted. The running rollers on the jib head facilitate the erecting process. Please refer to the operating manual for the ideal boom position depending on the boom configuration. Now, mount the rope protection on the jib head again. If required, reeve the hook. For the various reeving possibilities, please refer to the operating manual. Connect the rope socket to the dead end lug. Thanks to the innovative rope socket, assembly and disassembly of the rope can be carried out quickly and easily. Then mount the anti-2 block switches, trigger it manually, and check its function. Erect the jib. As soon as the boom enters the active load chart, the hook can be lifted. For safety reasons, the assembly self-lock function is automatically deactivated as soon as a valid load chart is reached. Switch off the assembly functions and the symbol will disappear from the monitor. The LR1250 is now ready for operation.